It's 2 a.m. with Nathan. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. I want to tell you about one of my favorite games today. Lord of the Rings Risk. It's a typical game like Risk, but it has that J.R. Tolkien kind of map and theme, and there's a ring, and there's needs to be destroyed in Mordor, and it is just this really cool game. Okay, and one of the reasons why I like Risk, any kind of Risk, is because in a board game of Risk, it doesn't cost anything. I mean, you could risk your entire army because it's just a board game. The worst thing that can happen is you can lose. It's just a game. Risks in life are much more costly. And I'm not just talking about the kind of risk like eating sushi at a gas station at 3 o'clock in the morning. That is the risk for sure. I mean the other risks we take in life. Because we're not risking just losing a game or just losing our lunch. We're risking a lot more. Our family. We risk our lives, our time. We risk our health. And some of the risk will be worth it and some of it isn't. But unlike a board game, you really only get one shot with these things. And so it's important to make sure you understand the cost. And you also understand if it's worth risking for. Is this thing worth risking my life, my family, my health, everything I have for? Following Jesus requires risk. Jesus called the disciples and said, "Come follow me." And they had to leave their nets behind, their security, their family, everything to follow Jesus. He still calls to this kind of risk today. Throughout history, Christians have been called foolish and ignorant and not cultured and all kinds of names and stupid because they risk everything for Christ. And with Christ, it always requires risking everything. It's not just about risking and obedience and doing the right thing before God, but risking for God means being a witness to others around you, that they might see you and see the hope of Jesus. Being a witness for Jesus means risking making silly videos at 2 o'clock in the morning, even though only tens of people are going to watch it. Risking for Jesus means talking about the story of Jesus that people think is foolish and outdated. Risking being a witness for Jesus means risking offending others, that they might get angry with you. Even if you're gentle and kind and tell them the hope of Jesus, they know there's a cost involved. It's costly to follow Jesus. They can be very angry with you in the process. So the real question is, what are you going to risk for Jesus today? Are you willing to be the disciple that risks everything to obey him and be a witness in the world around you? Here's some practical ways you can risk everything for Jesus today. You could send a message to someone on Facebook, or send a YouTube link of the church service and say, "Hey, do you want to watch this with me and we can talk about it?" You could give someone a call and share your faith with them, especially someone you know that struggles with their faith. You could buy groceries for the family next door with all the kids. You could just have a way of showing love to them. It's a costly risk, but risking for Jesus is always worth it. When we trust in the Lord with all our heart and we stop leaning on our own understanding, we acknowledge him, he directs the path before us. And there's hope in that. So have a great day today and risk it all for Jesus.